Last year, I earned over $100,000 from developer-focused content. If you're interested about learning what the exact breakdown is and how I did that, stick around. What's up, everyone? My name is James Keepwick, and I create weekly videos on web development related topics. And I've created content around web development for years now. But as of July in 2022, I have been doing content full time. So for half of the year last year, I was working as a developer advocate, and then half the year I was working full time. I actually got let go from my job at the time, so that's why I made the transition. If you want to learn more, I've got a video about that you can go and check out. But I've been doing content full time now for 6 months, and I'm doing my kind of end of year looking back at how much I earned and expenses and all that sort of stuff. And I made over $100,000, which was my goal for last year. It's something I'm incredibly proud of, and I figured it would be worth sharing with you how I did it, what the breakdown was, etc. I actually posted this tweet on Twitter to share with people that I met that goal, and that's exactly what they asked. They want to know exactly where the money came from and kind of get an idea of how I did that. So I will openly share my dashboard in QuickBooks where I do all of my income and expenses. I'll share Google, YouTube analytics with income from ads on YouTube videos. I'll show you my earnings from Udemy courses there. And basically anything that you want to see, I'll cover in this video. So one of the things I want to mention first is that it can be a challenge to turn content creation into a full-time job. So one of the things that I do most of, I earn the majority of my income from, is sponsored videos. So probably 60 to 70,000 of the $100,000 that I made last year came from sponsored videos. And that's people reaching out through email saying, hey, we'd love to see you do a video on our product, or we'd like to do a live stream with you, etc. And there's really, really good money in that. I'm lucky enough to have an audience where people want to reach out and think that I'm a good place for them to advertise or talk about their product. And it's a fun but tough balance, because I only work with sponsors that I'm really excited about, but saying that something is sponsored, some people get iffy about. So I try to make sure it's only things I'm excited about. I try to integrate them in an organic, natural way. And that's a tough thing to do when you're also trying to build a business. So first and foremost, my goal is to provide value to the people that watch and consume my content. Anything else that comes from that is just a cherry on top. So let's start with inside of QuickBooks. This is my dashboard. You can see this is for last year, and I should change this one to last year as well. So profit and loss. My profit was $100,000, $99,590. My overall income was 113, almost 14, and then 14.2 in expenses. So how does that break down? Well, I mentioned that I make probably 60 to 70,000 off of sponsored content. That will continue to be a big chunk of the money that I make next year. But I also have income from a few different sources, which is a recommendation I have for people of being able to make money in a few different ways. So on YouTube, here's my statistics from 2022. I had 4.7 million views, which was actually down compared to last year. Watch time hours, subscribers, etc. And then the thing you probably care about most is estimated revenue. So in 2022, I made between $17,000 and $18,000 from ad revenue on YouTube. Usually this is about $1,000 to $1,500 a month. And this is from, you can look at the size channel I have, the amount of views, etc. These have actually been down recently. So if we look at, usually on a monthly basis, I make $1,500, for example. If I look at my last month, so the last 28 days, they usually show this to you by default. My subscriber growth is down and my estimated revenue is down. So I say that to say that, like, just because you have over 100,000 subscribers doesn't mean you're consistently making $1 million or anything like that, or ever making $1 million. But those things can dip, which means it's important to be able to make money outside of that. So again, I use sponsorships as a way to generate a lot of the income, and I've done a lot of sponsored content. And again, I really, really enjoy it, but I would like to try to transition this into making more money off of my own content. One of the ways you do that is through courses. So I want to show you my first example of a paid course that I have on Udemy. It's really the only course that I've done on Udemy that has had any traffic. And I just looked for the first time in a while. This course has made about $50,000 lifetime. This is over the course of several years, because this course was created a while ago. And I don't know exactly what the number is. It's somewhere in here for what I generated last year. It's around $1,000 or maybe a little bit more per month. So you can think of it in the range of $15,000 potentially. So I want to share really quickly, like I did this course, Learn Visual Studio Code, which I think just happened to be the first course of its kind on Udemy. And I think it kind of dominated that niche. So you'll hear mixed reviews about people creating content on Udemy. They force it to go on sale all the time. So mostly my sales are $10 a piece, where I get like $4 of that and Udemy gets $6. So a lot of people don't like that. For me, for this specific course, it's worked great. I don't think I would have made at that point in my career $50,000 off of a course. So having the advertisement that came from Udemy in this case was amazing. So I want to talk about what I'm going to do differently going forward, what I've started to do differently, but just kind of going through adding up. I made about $17,000 on YouTube ads. I made about $15,000 on this course, which is $32,000. And then some other smaller things. And then the majority of the rest of that was from sponsored content. So that's the typical breakdown of what I see. Now, the other thing that I want to call out is, or talk about, is going forward, instead of hosting things on Udemy, I'm hosting things on my own platform using Podia. Now, Podia is a paid platform, which comes out to $500 or $600 or something like that per year. It's like $80 a month. And the cool thing is I can have unlimited products here, courses, one-pagers, cheat sheets, etc. that can be free and or paid. I can have campaigns around people. I can have a lot of stuff that I want to take much more advantage of this year, but I have complete ownership over that content and I get to control the pricing. So I think I think it's just the PayPal fee or like the transaction fee, the 2% or 3% that I lose, versus Udemy forces the price to be $10 and then takes 60% or so of that. So I'm really excited to do that. This is going to be a big focus for me this year, is to continue to do sponsored content, again, because I enjoy it and there's good money in it, but also to get more into paid content that I create to hopefully provide value for you and make that money directly on the content that I create and own. So I'll be using Podia for that. A lot of people have tried a bunch of other platforms. Podia still works well for me. An additional benefit is that it has email baked in, so I don't have to pay separately for any email provider. You can see I've made $7,000 total through stuff hosted on Podia. In the grand scheme of things, this is not a whole lot. So I'm hoping that the things I do in the future is a lot bigger, but that's up to me as a marketer to drive people to my content and have them feel like this is something they want to pay for. So anyway, that's the general breakdown. $100,000, about $15,000 from YouTube ads, about $15,000 from a course on Udemy, about $60,000 in sponsored videos. And then we'll get into this year figuring out what the relationship is. My goal is $200,000 for my first full year of doing content full time, with a big chunk of that being a course that I create that I get to control and sell myself. So that's my goals. That's what the breakdown has been. If you have any ideas or other questions or things that you'd like to hear more details about, let me know in the comments below. I'd be happy to answer them. I'm fully transparent about this because I want other people to see content creation as an opportunity for themselves too. I think that's really important. So hope you enjoyed the video and I'll catch you next time.